Polarity is what you don't want to think about. But if you find where the polarity is set up and how it's set up and go to it, and then you unload it by realizing that there is a thought that says this happened and another thought says, and I don't want it to happen again. This moment has nothing to do with that at all, of course, right? And the tendency of the mind to set up polarities that way, it'll be there for a while, right? So it'll just find convenient examples in the memory or in your experience to use to become polarized. So the feeling of missing something or the feeling of missing an opportunity, those are convenient for the ego to grab a hold of, right? If you hold something in consciousness with enough spaciousness of consciousness, it will dissolve, it will settle for sure. You can't hold any one thought forever. Your mind won't do that. It needs to keep thinking, right? Thought is a process. It's not a thing, because you can't find that. You will never find the thing called thought. It's kind of why I say slow it down, look at one thought at a time, become curious about thought, find the next thought, move closer to thought. These are all because if you look really closely, you'll never actually find anything. So thinking is a process that requires a sense of being the thinker, a sense of pushing and pulling, meaning there's thoughts I don't want to have and not noticing that, and then moving on to the next thought that feels better to think about, and then on and on and on, right? So slow the process down mechanically, look at the mechanics of thought, see what's actually happening in this exact moment, and go right to it. The closer you go to anything, the more it starts to look like enlightenment, whether it's a thought or anything else, whether it's sound or sensations. The entry point is right there with a sort of a wide open aperture of consciousness, taking everything in. No matter where a thought would appear, you'd already be aware of it. Because if you notice thoughts that appear, they kind of appear in a spatial arrangement usually, like off to the side, behind. If you just notice that, thoughts seem to have a kind of spatial location. So if you open up that aperture such that the space of consciousness is bigger, the space of consciousness that you are sort of aware of in that moment is bigger, and it's in every direction, then any thought that arises is already going to be part of that open aperture. It's going to be part of that space of awareness. And then you have the opportunity to let consciousness just settle enough that you can start to become curious of where there actually is a center. The center, the sense of I, the thought, the space of all of this happening is all kind of the same thing. And that's where we start to experience the infinitude of consciousness. The way you burn it down is going deeply into whatever's there, whatever's presented to you. Yeah, don't be disappointed like, oh, too bad it's this, because anything that appears that is how you burn it down. You go very, very deeply into it and you let go. Anything, whatever the next thing that comes, same thing, same answer.